Hello everyone, welcome to Lemon Tricks, where concepts are made easy. Today's video is about 10 study mistakes students make that no one talks about. The first mistake is studying only when it feels urgent. So the problem here is most students wait until pressure hits. It means they try to wait 1 week prior to the examination to take their books and study. So what happens here? Your brain learns best in low stress states and not in panic mode. So when you are 1 week prior to the examination state, your brain takes more pressure or stress and you've been more of panic mode, and here the stress increases and your focus drops. Thereby what happens is your memory becomes weak. So how can you fix this problem? Just create a fake deadline. So you can create a deadline like 5 to 7 days before the real exam. So by that date, try to finish all the content, do the practice questions, try to identify in which areas you feel weak. So use the final week to do the revision or to try to review your mistakes and try to strengthen your weak spots. So what happens here is less stress will give you better memory and also higher performance. The second mistake is confusing familiarity with understanding. So the problem here is students usually see the notes repeatedly. That makes them feel that you know about that topic. That is familiarity, not real understanding. You can recognize it, but you cannot explain it or apply it or put it on a paper. So how can you fix this problem? You can use the active recall method. Instead of just rereading, close your book, explain the topic aloud, write what all you remember and do the practice questions. If you can't recall it without looking, it means you don't know fully about it. So recognition is not mastery. Recall is mastery. The third mistake is studying in the same emotional state every day. The problem here is your brain links memory to emotion. So if you always study stressed, your recall becomes stress dependent. So you can perform well only when you are anxious and you struggle when you are calm. So how can you fix this problem? You can study some days in calm and relaxed state and do some reviews under timed pressure. It means you can set a timer and write the answer in a book. So you can sometimes simulate real exam conditions. So this gives your brain the training to depend on both calm and stressful situations. The fourth mistake is they never train recall speed. Here the problem is always students review content but don't practice recalling it quickly. In exams, speed matters. So how can you fix this problem? So train your recall speed. It means set a 2-minute timer per topic. Write or say everything you remember in that 2 minutes. And now after you say or remember or write it, check the gaps or understand where you have lost the grip on the topic or where you have lost the important points to mention. So repeat this process until your recall becomes fast and automatic. So what happens is you turn your knowledge into instant retrieval. The fifth mistake is writing beautiful notes instead of useful notes. Beautiful notes are not always smart notes. If your notes are not question based or condensed or it is not built for active recall, then they are just a piece of decoration and not tools. So how can you fix this problem? Turn your notes into questions. Instead of writing explanations, write what causes this, why does this happen, or list in the form of steps, or you can write it in the form of flow charts. All these things will force your brain to recall and not reread. The sixth mistake is studying without confusion tracking. Most students ignore what confuses them. They just move on instead of fixing those weak spots. Confusion left unresolved becomes mistake in the exam. So how can you track your confusion? Keep a small confusion list. Every time you don't understand something, write it down, review it later, ask, research, or practice it. So, revisit this list regularly. So, what you avoid becomes your exam question. The seventh mistake is never practicing under real conditions. Many students study comfortably but never simulate the real exam. No timer, no pressure, no full length practice. So the exam feels shocking. So, how can you fix this? Train like it's real. Sit at a desk, set a real timer, do full length practice, no phone, no breaks. Make this practice slightly harder than the real exam. The eighth mistake is a very common mistake, studying for marks. When you study only for marks, you focus on memorizing what might appear, not truly understanding the subject. Marks driven study always creates short term memory and not long term skill. So, how can you fix this? Always study for mastery. Ask yourself these three questions. Can I explain this simply? Can I apply it to a new problem? Or can I teach it to someone else? When the answer is yes for all these three questions, you have attained mastery. So, always marks become a byproduct of understanding. So, always chase mastery and marks will follow. The ninth mistake is being busy for learning. Just doing tasks doesn't mean you're learning. Highlighting or rewriting notes may feel productive, but it often isn't. Many students confuse activity with progress, spending hours reading, copying, or watching long lectures gives just the illusion of studying, but your brain isn't forming strong memories or skills. So try to focus on measurable outcomes. Can you recall the information? Can you solve the problem what you have learned? Or can you recall it in a timed pressure? So learning is proven by what you can do and not how busy you are. The 10th mistake is forgetting to update your study methods. Many students stick to the same study habits year after year without asking if they are still effective. Maybe you highlight every page, reread notes, or copy content mindlessly because that's how you have always studied. The problem is what worked before might not work now. Different subjects, exam formats, or even your brain's capacity for attention can require different strategies. Using outdated methods leads to wasted time and also superficial learning and also leads to frustration. And how can you fix this? Try to reflect regularly whether this method is actually helping me to remember or helping me to apply the knowledge, and always try to experiment new techniques. Some of them are like spaced revision, active recall, or teaching concepts to others. So always remember to discard what fails. If something does not improve your recall or understanding, stop doing it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.